here, back from another video. So in today's video we're going to be installing the Flex Fuel Kit from Pro Tuning Freaks and my BMW 340i with the B58 engine. Alright, so why do you need this kit and what exactly does it allow you to do? If you're already running a boot mode tune or you're planning to get one and you know you're going to be running some ethanol mixes down the road, then you definitely want this kit. It'll be an absolute game changer for you. So personally, I was debating on trying out my E50 map that I already have with my multi-map pack, but I watched a video on how to calculate ethanol mixes and then I was immediately sold on this kit. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the kit and make this a whole lot easier for myself. Because when you're calculating the mixture yourself, you're also running the risk of human error and potentially having that mix be off, which would not be good for the car because the tune is, say, an E30 or E50 tune, and it's calculating your tuning parameters based on the exact mix. So you have to be pretty close or like dead on for the mix for the tune to work properly and for you not to have any complications with your engine, which we don't want that. So this kit comes in clutch and takes out all the guesswork from calculating your own ethanol mixes. It's a completely plug-and-play solution with the boot mode tune in your car's DME. So it hooks up to the low-pressure fuel pump with the fuel sensor and it auto-calculates the ethanol mix that you have and adjusts your tuning parameters accordingly. So say you have E30, E50, E62 in the tank, it does not matter. You don't have to do anything. It automatically adjusts the tune and you're off to the races. And then your car can also tell you what ethanol mix is in the tank by holding down the cruise control button, and it'll adjust the speedometer accordingly. So say the speedometer is at 30 miles an hour, you have E30 in your tank. So the best part about this kit is ease of install. It's completely plug and play into the factory vehicle harness. So there's no depinning, splicing, or cutting into any OEM wiring, just all plug and play. So it's super simple and should take about 10 to 15 minutes. On the S55 and N55 chassis, it would probably take even less time because you don't have to run a wire underneath the trim on the side doors up to the front of the car, because on the B58 you do. So we'll go over that in the install process. So once the install is done, you make sure you have your boot mode Flex Fuel enabled tune to flash to the car, and then you're ready to fuel up and take everyone to Applebee's. But alright, now let's jump into the install. So the only tools you'll need for the install: 10mm, razor blade, trim tools, and some command strips. Alright, so first step, we want to remove this piece right here because the low pressure fuel pump sits right under this rear passenger seat. So to remove this, just want to reach in here, pull it out, move the seat belt out of the way, and then pull up. That'll come right out because it's just held in by some retaining brackets. So we'll put this in a safe spot. Go ahead and unclip this seat belt if it's clipped in for you. That goes up there. Now we can remove this base seat. So we just need to pull up. As you can see, I use a little bit of force, but go ahead and pull up on this side, pull up on that side, and then carefully remove it. So make sure you feed the seat belts through, because those will try to come with you and make it more difficult to get the seat out. Alright, so now we can peel this back right here, and this will expose our 10mm. So there are 5 of them. Yep, it's a 10. So I'll go ahead and take these off right now. Alright, just put these on the floor, and then we can lift up on this top hat. And there's like a little piece of tape right here holding down this connection. I'm just going to go ahead and peel that up so we have more maneuverability. And then there is going to expose the top of the tank for the low pressure fuel pump, and that's where this sits. So this is sitting and going directly into the gas tank, and we're just going to plug right into that gas line. Alright, so this is the Ekp Module. I don't know what this does, but it probably reads fuel. So we're going to disconnect this by pushing down on both the tabs, sliding that out, and now we can go ahead and remove the gas cap and start the car. What it'll do is it'll go ahead and take out all the fuel and fuel pressure from the low pressure fuel pump line, so that when we go to disconnect that later, it doesn't spray fuel everywhere. Alright, go ahead and start the car. And there you go. You just gotta wait till it turns off. Hit the ignition button once. All right, now we can start to remove this line. What's gonna make this easier is go ahead and remove this connection right here. So yeah, it's just a tab right there that needs to be pulled up. And bear with me as I'm the worst at pulling out electrical connections. All right, wasn't too bad. So now we can set this to the side. Try to prop that up. All right, now that's going to expose our fuel pump line right here. So now we just need to pull back on these white tabs that you'll see right here. Go ahead and pull those back and you can disconnect it, but definitely have a clean microfiber towel right here ready to catch any fuel that may drip out, because you'll probably get a couple drips. So you just pull back on that. You can see that it's outwards. All right, so once you have that clip out, there will be a button on this other side, and you just want to push that in. You pull up at the same time. Oh. There goes the fuel. Just had a little bit spill out. All right, so now we have our Pro Tuning Freaks module and this connector, which needs to connect into the Pro Tuning Freaks device that connects into the low pressure fuel pump. So we need to get it through this rubber grommet right here. So we can just go ahead and pop it out from the bottom. Just like so. Now we can take a razor blade or some type of cutting tool, go ahead and just make a slit in this very carefully. You do not want to cut through any wires. That would be a bad day. Alright, I think we got a big enough slit in there so that we can feed this down through here. And then have this cord tuck into the slit so we can put our rubber grommet back into place. And just like that, we're in. So with our wire fed through here, now we can go ahead and plug it in to our boot mode device. And plug it in until you hear that click. It should be good there. And then I want to remove this. This is awesome. This is like a really high quality fuel line. So shout out to Pro Tuning Freaks for making high quality product. All right, now we can go ahead and slide in this fuel line. Make sure it goes on so you hear a click. Pull up on it and make sure it's not coming out. Don't want any fuel leaks. Now we can kind of finesse. It's a lot of finagling here. And we can put on our OEM fuel line onto the boot mode device. Make sure get on there nice and tight again. Hear an audible click, and then push in the clip, the retaining clip. I did get a little bit of fuel on my hands, so I'm gonna grab another rag and wipe up down there. All right, so that should be good. That device will just go ahead and sit there. We can run this line here and plug our connection back in. And we don't want to screw this on yet. We want to go ahead and run this other cable to the front of the car and then start the car, make sure we don't have any fuel leaks. So now we're ready to place this on the body of the car. So I put my command strip right there, actually just cut one in half. It's a Velcro style, so it'll be easily removable down the road. And it'll look like it wasn't even there. I won't be able to tell. So I'm just going to take off the sticky part and place it back here up against this body panel. All right, so we have our box 3M'd right there. That's good to go. And then we have the cord running down through here, and that's running into the low pressure fuel pump. And then this cord, we need to go to the front of the car and we need to remove this trim right here. This is where our trim tools will come in. I guess there's a little retaining plastic bolt right there. We'll get that and then just rip it out. So this part here, you just kind of gotta gently yank up on it until it pops out, because it's held in with these tabs. So right here, these slide in and then go in to the car. So these, if you pull on it, it'll just pop out And then to get it back in, you'll want to take these out if they're stuck in the car, and then slide them back in so you can reinsert them. Same thing right here. Just pull that out. And then this is where we're going to run our cord under, up to here. So we need to take off this one as well. Alright, so once again, we're just wiggling. Messing this out of here. I've never taken this apart before, so I don't have any experience or instructions. Yeah, so it looks like there's another bracket. It's going into this piece up here. Might have to go ahead and drop this. Alright, so as you can see, we had to remove this tray that's underneath the glove box. So it's just two 10mm, and you'll be able to pull down, pull it out. So this would actually be a good time to change your cabin air filter if you haven't done that. Alright, now as you can see, this was just held in by these white tabs. So you just want to pull out, and now we will have our FEM and BDC control units. So now we just need to tap into these. Alright, now that you have these wires exposed, you're going to want to disconnect this white one. So it's just held in by a little clip right there. You just want to push down, pull out on the handle. Just like that, so it's upright position, and this will come right out. So now we just need to get this black plug out of here, and so it's held in by these two clips on the side. So we just need to squeeze those outwards and then pull out. All right, so once you pull back on those, this connection will just slide out like that, and we'll need to make sure that we do insert these connections in correctly, because if not, then we'll get drivetrain malfunction, and our wipers will be going off until we fix it. Kind of weird, but. All right, so now we have our plug into the factory connection, and then we just slide this into here. So this only goes in one way, so you can't mess that up. And now we can plug this back in, make sure we don't have any fuel leaks when we start the car, and that we're running, because if this connector is plugged in wrong, your windshield wipers will go off and they won't stop. Ask me how I know. Moment of truth. Nope. Alright. We have the plug wrong. Alright, so we got that plugged in. Everything's good there. We got our Ekp plug back in, gas cap back in. So let's go ahead and start the car. See if we get recurring wipers again. No wipers. Let's go. Alright, time to check for fuel leaks. Alright, so I do have a check engine light. That's probably from me doing the plugs incorrectly the first time. But if I hold down on this cruise control button right here, it should tell me my ethanol reading, and that's how we know it's working with the tune. So yep, there we go. Flashed up to 1. So that's pretty typical for pump gas to be at around 10% ethanol. So right on par. So with the check engine light, I'm gonna go ahead and scan for a code. If it's a code telling me that, you know, the FEM, something's wrong with that, then I can go ahead and clear it and then start the car again, and it should be gone. So fingers crossed for that. Alright, I'm going to start putting everything back together. As you can see, we have the cord ran down here, kind of shoved it down, stuck it underneath this carpet, have it running through here, and I just kind of, I didn't want to take this piece off. I need to pull this trim back, but I just went ahead and stuffed it up under here so we can poke out on the other side. So as you can see, it's running down through here underneath the carpet and then up here. So I'll just have to do some tucking over here to make sure we get these all tucked away, and then we can put our trim pieces back, put back in the back seat, and go fill up some E85. So we're taking over on the GoPro. I just wanted to show you all how to best put everything back together. So with this piece right here, you just want to make sure that so there's 3 prongs, and you just want to make sure the top one closest to the front of the car goes in first, and then you can kind of like make sure the rest are lined up and hit it in. So there's one in the middle, and you can just hit that in. That's what I did, and then one right here too, and just make sure that this carpet is underneath it, and that's it for this one. So now I actually stuck this piece back in there. Make sure the screws line up for the 10mm bolts. Clip these in, these front clips right here. Make sure you also plug in the light and the cigarette lighter. And then we can go ahead and put these 10mm bolts back in and rearrange my Blackview dashcam cords, and then we'll be good here. Like I mentioned earlier, to get this back in, we'll need to take these out with our trim tools and then slide them back into these grooves right here. You have these all the way slid in. You'll see that there's like a little bump stop, so just slide all the way against that, and then we can push this back in. Just like that. That's done. For this trim piece, we'll have to do the same. These ones stayed in, but these ones actually came out with the piece. So go ahead and remove these, put this back in, and then also put back in our little bolt there. And this cord, you want to make sure it's out of the way because the back seat hinge will like insert into here. So hope it's not a problem with this cord behind, but I don't think it should be. And then I need to screw this down as well. So I actually did have some like troubles with getting this fitment in there. So I'm just going to try my best to get it in there, and it should be good like that. We have this secured. Looks like no one's even been there except for this. All right, so all that's left to do is put the seat back in. And probably the most annoying part of this is going to be pulling these seat belts up through it, so I'll go through that with you. So this long one, you can go ahead and put that one in here first. That one just kind of goes off to the side, but then you want to use your other seat belts to go ahead and plug into the buckles. Just feed them through, plug them into the buckles, and that way you can just pull them up that way. So that makes it a lot easier than just fishing for them. It is ridiculously hot in this garage. And I was just like battling with seat belts. I'm definitely gonna have to clean my interior, but all good, all for the power, right? All for the gains. All right, so this is the last piece. As you can see, it just has these metal brackets that are going to fit in to the little slots. So that's all you have to do is just make sure these bottom ones go in. So there's another one on that side. Finesse that in, make sure all the creases are tucked. That's good there. Hit that in, that's good. And then on these seats, I did have to like really give it a whack to get them in there, but now I'll be cleaning my interior. Alright, so I just wanted to go ahead and close out this video with the last few notes in this nice air-conditioned room after sweating out about a gallon of water in my garage. So that took me way longer than I thought it would take, of course, because I'm filming it at the same time, and then also running that wire to the FEM under the front passenger footwell. Took a little bit of extra time, doing a little bit of research and figuring out what to do, where to put the connections, and what pieces to take off. So there is a hidden instruction manual from Pro Tuning Freaks. It's in their I guess Wikipedia page. And it's kind of hard to find, so I'll go ahead and link it in the description below. It's a PDF so that you can have that at your disposal. When you're measuring your ethanol content with the cruise control button, you can do that while driving. You can do it while the car's off in accessory mode, at least when the car has power, and you can also do it when you're parked. So you can do it whenever you want as long as the car is powered on, so that's pretty handy. And now I'm going to go ahead and rest a little bit, get showered up, go get some fuel. But I'll go ahead and close out this video and do another follow-up video with you guys on pretty much like a review of the Flex Fuel tune with some I'm going to go for an E50 blend, so around there, and let you guys know how the car is driving with the E50. So stay tuned for that video. I appreciate you guys watching. Smash that like button if you found this video helpful. Subscribe for all the future content we're going to be doing. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.